Pit bulls, as you know, they always end up in the news in a bad light. Every time you see a story on the news about a pit bull, it's usually bad. They're not bad dogs. They're special dogs. They're not for everybody. Not everybody should have a pit bull. Not everybody should have a dog, just like certain people shouldn't have kids, you know? So we try to save as many as we can responsibly, but it takes a lot of work. We currently have, I think, 126 dogs in the rescue. I think 125 of them are pits or pit mixes. It's not cheap, not easy. Last year we spent close to $400,000 rescuing dogs. And it's just, as you see, mostly everything that comes through your program, right? You guys have a lot of pits.
We try not to have too many at one time, but yes,
Right.
we always have some.
Have you guys been over to animal control at all? No? Yeah, if you go over there, it's pretty much any pound in the country, some more than others, usually range about 60 to 70% pit bull or pit bull mix. The numbers now, from what I understand, 1 out of 1,000 pit bulls is going to make it out of the pound alive. So 1 out of 1,000 pit bulls will make it out of the pound alive. And about 1.5 million pit bulls will be killed in pounds this year. Yeah. So it's just like a Holocaust, man. It's like pit bulls just die every day, and they didn't do anything wrong. So basically they end up in the pound because people don't want them. Usually what happens is young kids, they want these dogs because of the image. Pit bulls have this tough guy, bad boy image, and everybody thinks that they can become tough by having one of these dogs. And what they don't realize is these dogs are really good dogs, and they just love people, so they'll do whatever you guys want them to do. And you know by spending time with them, the more time you put into them, the more you're going to get out of them. And what happens is they take these dogs and they put them in bad situations, and they end up in the pound. And when they end up in the pound, it's a death sentence. Very rare that they get out. And so what I do is I try to flip the ratio. I try to save as many as I can, and I can't save them all, and I know that, but I could save a lot of them. So my group is all volunteer. I have a pretty big place. I've got 14 acres, and I'm trying to build it up enough where I could have a paid staff to take care of these animals. Like right now at my house, I have 31 pit bulls, and we take them from dogfighting raids, we take them from cruelty cases, and the problem isn't rescuing them, and the problem isn't raising the money for them. The problem is finding them good homes, because most people who want pit bulls want to put them into a bad situation. They want them for the wrong reason. They don't want them to love them, and they don't want them to hold them. They want them to, just for that image. You know, they want to put big chains on them, they want to cut their ears, and they want to walk down the block with the dog pulling them. And to me, that doesn't make you look cool. That makes you look inferior to your dog. I'd rather have a dog that's at your feet rolling over like that. Yeah. That's more impressive to me than to have a dog, you know, yanking you down the block. Want to say hello? This study's done that dogs really help people, you know, keeping them calm, and they say that petting a dog actually lowers your blood pressure. Yeah. You smell all my dogs? I know. I've got a lot, right?
You sound good.
Look at you. She looks good. Smell all my dogs. I've got a lot of dogs.
Look at that tail.
Yeah.
Good.
She's cute.
Yeah, she's a baby too.
Yeah.
She's about 10 months.
Wow.
Hey, I seen you on the news like a couple of weeks back.
I wasn't in handcuffs, right?
No, you wasn't.
All right. You did good.
You doing something good, you just get some dogs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've been on the news a couple of times.
What went on with them?
Which ones?
I think it was like you was walking towards your van. You had like some black. You had a black pit.
A little black pit. Oh, yeah. Hey, baby. Which one was that? Oh, that was Squiggy. He was from a dogfighting raid.
Yeah.
He was from that large dogfighting raid. So, hey. Yeah, I took him. He was in the pound. I was full, and I like taking in the fighting dogs. Those are my favorites. I like the ones that nobody else wants. I like the ones that people give up on. And people think they make a mistake because they think because a dog is dog aggressive that it's going to be human aggressive. And that's two different things. It's a big difference. And what I tell people is, if you're going to rescue pit bulls, when I go in the pound to go rescue a dog, this is what I think. I think the dog's gonna have an upper respiratory infection. I think the dog's gonna have worms. I think the dog's gonna have a disease called heartworms, and I think the dog is gonna be dog aggressive. So then when I take the dog out of the pound and it's not, then I'm surprised. But I'm prepared for it, because what happens is a lot of people, they see a dog and they see a picture and they say, oh, I love this dog, look how cute it is. And then I have to have that dog. They don't know anything about the dog's personality. So what we do is we'll pull a dog. It doesn't matter what's wrong with the dog. If we pull a dog, it's tattooed on my hands as commitment. You know, so we commit to the dog no matter what. Whatever the dog needs medically, whatever it needs as far as behavior issues, we keep the dog. And we're prepared. So it's not a baseball card. It's not like you take the dog, oh, I don't like this one, you trade it in. It's a life. So, you know, a lot of people make the mistake and it's like you want to date the prettiest girl, but she could be the biggest bitch. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes the girl who's not as pretty is really nice. Yeah. You know what I mean? But people make a lot of mistakes when they go for a dog. And to me, I don't care what a dog looks like. The uglier it is, the more messed up it is, the more I want it. And because I like the comebacks. I like when people tell me I can't do things. Yeah. When I first started my rescue, everybody told me I was going to fail. They told me I'd never make it, that rescues go under all the time. I went to all the people in Atlanta, and I said, look, I'm really interested. See, I worked with a bunch of rescues. I helped them out. I fostered for them. And I do things differently than other people. I always march to my own beat, which is okay. You know, you don't have to be just like everybody else. It's okay to be different. So I said, I want to start my own rescue. And everybody told me I'm never going to make it. I said, okay. So I started off one dog at a time. And now we're probably I know we're the largest pit bull rescue in Atlanta. And from what I understand, we're like second or third largest in the country with the amount of dogs that we have. So you can do anything, man. No one's ever asked me for, you know what's funny is, you guys know Facebook, right? I call it fake book, because you could do anything that you want on fake book. everybody. So just as a joke, I put it up there that I went to Harvard Law. I went to Harvard Law School. I never went to Harvard Law. You know when people think I went to Harvard Law? They come over to me and the guy says, well, you graduated from Harvard Law, right? I said, no, I never graduated. And he says, you went to Harvard Law? I said, no, I went to UCLA. He goes, you went to UCLA? I said, yeah, University on the corner of Lexington Avenue. That's where I went. But no, you can do anything, man. Some of the smartest people that I've met, most successful people I've ever met, never went to school. I've seen guys make millions of dollars just by being hard workers and believing in something. When you believe in something, when you believe in what you do, like I get up every morning, no matter what. I don't have a day off, right? 7 days a week I have to work. I have 30 dogs at my house. There's no such thing as I don't feel good or my back hurts. Because I have to take care of them. Like the storms the other night, I had to get my dogs out in the rain. You know what it's like to get 30 dogs out in the mud in the rain? It sucks, man. You gotta towel them all off. Got to keep the house clean. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm not going to clean today. If I show you the amount of dog hair that comes out of my bedroom in one day, I have 9 dogs in my bedroom.
How many were in your bed?
9.
Is
9.
it for you?
I have a pretty big place. You know, it's. I had somebody come over the other day. They had donated a vehicle to us, a car, and they wanted to see the place. So I said, come on in. I said, take a look. And the lady couldn't believe it. She was like, wow, this is spotless in here. I said,
I want to come see your place.
yeah, come on. Just give me 5 minutes notice so I can put dogs up so they don't fight. I don't mind. You come in there, it's gonna sound like a war zone. You give it 10 minutes and don't talk, it just calm right down. Yeah, but I love it, man. I live out in the woods when nobody's around. I've got 14 acres, I've got deer running around, I've got big yards. I've got 5 yards right now. They're 60 by 40 feet. They're 8 foot, 9 gauge chain link, 1 foot of barbed wire. It looks a lot like this. It looks like a prison. Everybody jokes around and says it looks like a prison. I've got 2 feet of concrete poured underneath all the fencing, so nobody can get in, nobody can get out. And all the dogs are inside. They're in big welded wire pens. Nobody's in a crate. They're in big welded wire pens. And it's good. Like people come in and they say, oh, this is heaven. I said, nah, it's not heaven. And I'll tell you why. Heaven is for them is to have their own home. And people say, you had this dog for 3 years. How do you let it go? I'm like, how do I keep it? If I keep it, then I'm selfish. This is a perfect dog. This dog is good. It needs to go to a home. You got to let them go. And because if I keep them all, it doesn't make sense. I can't rescue more. It sucks. Sometimes it hurts, man. I mean, like I had a little dog I got a call from Paulding County Animal Control. A woman called in a stray. It was a little 6-week-old puppy throwing up with bloody diarrhea, parvo. So they brought it over to their vet. The vet tested it parvo. They were going to euthanize it. They can't bring it to the pound with parvo. So they called me up and they say, hey, you know, can you take this dog in? I said, why not? I got nothing to do this weekend. So I took the dog in. I treated the dog at my house. And parvo is a pretty deadly disease. Yeah. We treat a lot of dogs for parvo. I always take in parvo dogs. I have a passion against kicking the shit out of parvo. So we took him home and I spent 4 nights with him. I wouldn't leave his side. You know, I just took care of the dogs and I come back in. I had him in my bathtub. I have a big jacuzzi tub. So I put him in there because he kept throwing up blood and shitting blood, and hooked him up on IV, gave him medicine, gave him plasma transfusions and all types of good stuff. And he pulled through. And when he pulled through, he was like the funniest little puppy. Like, I fell asleep in the tub with him, and you know, every hour I wake up to see if he was still alive. There'd be a pile of blood on the floor, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man, this little dog. And I woke up, I guess I fell asleep in the tub with him, and I was holding him when I fell asleep. And I woke up and he was on the other side of the tub barking at me. Ruff, ruff. I was like, I mean, when I got him, he couldn't hold his head up. So I knew he was feeling better. I was like, he's done. So I started feeding him and he started eating, and he came back and I was like, wow. So as soon as he got healthy, I called up one of my fosters and said, you gotta get this puppy out of here. I said, because if I keep him any longer, I'm gonna keep him at my house. Because he was everything I love in a dog. He was spunky. I mean, he was 8 weeks old. He walked up to the stairs, he looked at him, he probably was never up and down stairs before. He ran down like 20 stairs, ran right back up. I was like, oh shit, look at this little dog. Okay. And but I got him into a foster home, and you know, that's what I love doing. I love bringing them back, man. The feeling of taking a dog from like the worst situation and watching him go with a family, you know, it hurts, but it's good. It's a good hurt, man. And you know, you'll understand it when you guys get out, you know, when you get yourself settled, you find something to do, get yourself a dog, go save a dog. I mean, you guys have the experience. There's no better feeling than saving an animal, at least for me. Man, if I could run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if I had endless supplies, I would save dogs forever. I think it's, you know, I enjoy it. I mean, I really, really enjoy it. It's good. Like, I have one of my friends who just came down from New York. I haven't seen him in 10 years. I saw him once when my brother died 10 years ago. He came to the funeral. And before that, I haven't seen him since we were 19 years old. I'm 41. So it's been 20 years since we hung out. And I spoke to his mom on Facebook and stuff. He had moved to Boston with his mom. He wasn't doing anything with his life. He drank a little bit too much. And basically hadn't worked in a few years and was sitting home doing nothing. But he always loved dogs. So I spoke to his mom. She says, you know, I'm worried about him being depressed. I said, why don't you send him to me? I said, just send him down to me. I said, what's the worst that happened? I said, I can't afford to pay him, but I can afford to feed him. You know, I cook, he can come eat, and I, you know, I have enough places if he doesn't mind sleeping with a dog. So I offered it to him in Christmas. I spoke to him, I said, hey man, you're not doing anything. I spoke to some of our mutual friends. I said, you think it'd be a good, they said, you know, he likes to drink. And I'm like, well, you can't drink around my animals. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't do anything. Man. And I said, so, you know, and you can't come to my house compromised, because you open up the wrong door, it's on in my house. And it doesn't matter how big and how strong you are, 2 pit bulls go at it, they're gonna teach you how strong they are, because they don't stop. You know, that's the downfall to them. And like I said, I have some dogs that are pretty gamey at my house, so you open up the wrong door, it's bad. So I told him, I said, you know, when you're ready to quit drinking, you come to my house. He's been at my house 5 weeks. He hasn't had a drink in 5 weeks. Best damn volunteer I've ever had in my life. He's done nothing with his life in years. He came down here and he told me, he says, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I get up every morning, I get up at 6 o'clock. He's up probably 15 minutes before me, already starting, scooping yards and this and that. He loves it. I mean, I went from making 6 figures a year. I made well over $100,000 for many years. I was very lucky in life. And you couldn't offer me enough money to quit what I'm doing.